Some others, if you want to read the titles on here of others that I have. A book published in 2022. I have titles on here that say Time as a Mother, The Beauty of Dusk, Lost and Found, which is a memoir, In the Margins, and what does that say? Wahala? I think it's Hawaiian. A sapphic book, The Color Purple. A book with an flew over the cuckoo's nest. A book about a found family, Howl's Moving Castle, an Einesfeld Wolf Book Award winner. You can go online and check this one out. The Woman Warrior. A book talk recommendation, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, or The Song of Achilles. A book about the afterlife, The Graveyard Book, that's by Neil Gaiman. The Lovely Bones, I'm not so sure about that one. I also have a book by Teresa Caputo, so I'm not sure if that will apply to that book task. A book with cutlery on the cover or in the title, Julie and Julia. A book by a Pacific Islander author, We the Drowned. It's a big book. I would say that's a challenge. A book about witches, The Once and Future Witches. A romance novel by a BIPOC author. The Seaside Cafe. The Chai Factor is the one I have from the library. A book about a band or a musical group. I have The Magic Strings of Frankie Presto by Mitch Albom. I haven't read that. This one, I'm not sure if any library will have it yet. It's called A Book with a Character on the Ace Spectrum, meaning asexual, The Cybernetic Tea Shop. A book I'm currently reading right now is a book with a recipe in it, Tessie and Pearlie. It is funny, it's homegrown, it's down to earth, and it's about, I'm going to say it, Yiddishkeit grandmas who love life, question life, struggle through life, and then at the end they have chicken soup. Another book I'm also reading currently at the same time is a book with a misleading title, Watership Down by Richard Adams. A Hugo Award winner. I have American Gods. I think that's by Neil Gaiman. The other ones I have, again, are The Graveyard Book, Flowers for Algernon, How to Write Science Fiction, a book set during a holiday, anyone who loves the Christmas season or any holiday of the year. I have Skipping Christmas by Grisham, and Holidays on Ice by David Sedaris. A different book by an author you read in 2021. Okay, I'm not going to get too much into this one because the book I read last year by this author, Erin Morgenstern, if anyone has read The Never-Ending Story, The Starless Sea literally is a never-ending story with too many stories. But the first book she published was called The Night Circus, so I have that one. I'm going to see if that one is any better, and then I'll tell you guys all about it. A social horror book, Beloved by Toni Morrison, City of Thieves. The other one I have is Sarah's Key, but I think I have Beloved by Toni Morrison, so I'm going to take that one for a spell. A book set in Victorian times. I'm a lover of Victorian literature, but the one that I have never read was anything by the third Bronte sister, Anne Bronte. She wrote The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. Thank you, darling Desi, for recommending this. I'm going to read it, and I'll be surprised. A book with a constellation on the cover or in the title. A book I have out right now from the library is The Light Between Oceans. I've heard this one is fabulous. But the other one I have is The Girl in the Tower. This is the second of the trilogy, and I completely forgot what it's called. But I ended up getting the last two books of the trilogy because it was so wonderful. I love the first one. A book about gender identity. I tried reading The Left Hand of Darkness. I could not get into it. Too much confusion. So I'm going to try Orlando. A book featuring a party. I tried. Now this one this was called the Mrs. Dalloway Raider. So it's the book I checked out had a bunch of essays prior to the story itself. I don't know of any other publication, but readers, from what I've read, Mrs. Dalloway has no chapters, and I am a reader who needs chapters. I need a break. And I just couldn't get into the story. I couldn't. So I'm going to see if there's another book featuring a party. This one, take a real good look at this. An Own Voices science fiction and fantasy book. The one I have right now from the library is The Library of Fates. There's also Descendant of the Crane and Forest of 1,000 Lanterns. Yeah, and I wrote down here, the bell jar does not use a mobility aid. And a few other books from the advanced list down here. My hand's going numb, sorry. Let's see. A book that features 2 languages. I have Villette, that was written by Charlotte Bronte, Aragon, Bel Canto, The Paris Library, and The Virgin Blue by Tracy Chevalier. A book featuring a parallel reality. I wanted to read this book in January, but I just couldn't. It was at home, and I was staying with my folks at the time, and I had already been to the ER twice. But the same author who wrote The Once and Future Witches also wrote The 10,000 Doors of January, which I bought off Amazon. That looks so interesting. A book about someone leading a double life. The Timekeeper by Mitch Albom. Let's see. A Tale for the Time Being, I guess that was another title for that parallel reality one. A book with 2 POVs. I have Song of Solomon from the library. And these 2 at the bottom, 2 books set in twin towns, aka sister cities. So I have 5 Little Indians and House of Broken Angels, which I do not have yet. But there's, and then there's a duology. Several titles, so I'm not going to go into that. So some of these have not, have no titles on them yet because I have not found the correct books to apply to those tasks, but the ones that are highlighted and are marked off in black, those are the books I've read, and you can see the video. And I just realized I'm going to have to fix that one with the library. I'm sorry, the Midnight Library. That's not correct.